Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm deeply in love with all things beautiful that make life bloom. I believe that with every step we take, we can make life grow stronger. Some think that's a struggle, but I think that it can be done in all sorts of fun and enjoyable ways. That is why I started to film the Life Keeper's Diaries. Here is where I share my views of beauty, my ways of giving back to life, and my sparkles of creativity. I think those are exactly the ways of how to fill life with joy and love for ourselves and others. That is the way of a life keeper. I've come to the place where I spent quite a lot of time during the first lockdown in March 2020, so a year ago. And I've come here because this is also a place where I really like to pick or forage the first spring herbs that I really like to use in my tea infusions. I love them. I picked so much of it last year that they actually lasted throughout the whole season of high usage of tea. I drink them all the time, every day, in large quantities, and I really like them, and I think they are very supportive of health as well. So I came here because, well, as you can see, without a doubt and undeniably, spring is here, and I'm so happy. It's so beautiful, it's so warm, even though it was actually snowing in a place where I stayed yesterday at my boyfriend's place. So it was really cold Also, in the morning today it was freezing, so there was frost. Also in my hometown, which is not as cold as the place where my boyfriend lives, but still, yeah. Well, it was kind of winterish today and yesterday, but otherwise spring is here. We cannot deny it anymore, and I'm so happy that I'm not even trying. But this video is actually not about spring, it's about winter. I would say it's like ode to winter. It's like a thank you ode, I would say, because this winter was so beautiful, was so rich, and I would say even quite intense, weather-wise and emotions-wise, in my case. Yeah, we had crazy amounts of snow. I don't think I've ever experienced winter with so much snow, and it was just magical. And in a place where I spent quite a large amount of my time throughout the winter season, the nights were just the most magical nights I've ever seen, because the land was heavily covered in snow, and then when the moon came out, especially during the nights of full moon, the whole land was lit by the most amazing moonlight. It was just unimaginably beautiful. I mean, I cannot describe it in words because it was so amazing. You know, when you stand there and observe that landscape, the scenery, it just takes your breath away. It is breathtaking. And because I'm aware of how really lucky I am to have the opportunity to experience so much beauty and joy and, you know, all the nice things in life, I also know that it's very important for me to show gratitude, to give back to life, to show life that I do see that I am grateful. And you know, there was once this movie where they used this really nice phrase which I like to remember and repeat. It's important to say thank you and thank you for more. So this video is my way of thanking life, and I think that it's really not that important in what way you show gratitude, what is your way of expressing yourself. I think it's more important to find the way that suits you, and it doesn't even need to be the same way all the time. So there's also another way that I've already thanked this winter for all the beauty that it's offered me. And I did it in January already, and it's a fairy, so felted fairy made out of wool. It's the kind of fairy that I really like to make, the Waldorf fairies or Steiner style fairies. I used to work in a Waldorf kindergarten, so it's made quite an impression on me. The whole pedagogy and especially the aesthetics of the Waldorf world. So I still like making those fairies, and this one was a winter fairy. So these are two of my ways of how to show my gratitude and how to also remind myself of how lucky I am to be living such a beautiful life. You know, I really do believe in that phrase that we keep on repeating, but I think many of us often forget it. But it really isn't about the riches in terms of money and the material stuff. It's about the amount of joy that you get to experience and how much gratitude there is in your heart, and how much of those you can share with the world. Because the more we share it, the more there is of it in the world. It's up to us what we have in this world, what is shown in this world. So it's really important that we are aware of that and that we remind ourselves of that as well, regularly, not just sometimes. Yeah, so I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy both the scenery of the winter in my world and the creativity that I've expressed through my handiwork. And I hope they both inspire you as well to see everything that you are given, maybe in a completely different way than I am, but it's just as valuable. So I'd be happy if you shared that as well. You know, if you shared your gratitudes and your ways of expressing it, of showing it, and also sharing it with others. Yeah, so I hope you enjoy it, and now let's go back to the winter time. First, I make a nice even and firm felted bow for head. Next, I wrap the ball in a layer of skin color wool. Then I decide on color of sleeves and make the arms. I tie the arms on the bodice tightly so they stay in place. This is the time for the main layers of skirt. Fairies know well what's good for heart, so they require a lot of gentle combing and loving caressing. We should all be more like fairies. This is a winter fairy, so she's wearing a long, warm coat. I'm so in love with this combination of soft wool and shiny silk. Now the base is set, so it's time for embellishments. This fairy is wearing a lot of glittery accessories that I need to sew on one by one. It takes time, but it's well worth it. Those are the things that shape the fairy's personality. She's enjoying her time at the hairstylist. Because she's a winter fairy, she's keeping a fluffy cloud full of snowflakes. And of course, at the end, there's more caressing and falling in love.